Hi, welcome to another Dave's Desk. Today, our dear friend in the speaking world, Errol Lawson from God's country, Birmingham. And Errol has got one of the most fascinating life stories. We're not here today for that. That's going to be another call if you let us interview him again, because time's short. Errol has come from the wrong side of the streets on the wrong streets. He was the wrong bloke in the wrong place, the wrong time, on the wrong street, on the wrong side of the street. And he's developed himself, clawed, kicking and screaming, to now being a life-changing pastor, best-selling author, professional speaker, both in the business, the corporate and the education sector. Cut his teeth in the education sector, working with thousands of young adults, sometimes from the most challenging schools in the area. So leadership development is his speciality. So let's see if we can't pick some of that genius and cleverness that is Errol Lawson. Welcome, Errol. How you doing, mate?
Hey, mate, I'm doing good. I am excited to be here and to just have this conversation with you, Dave, man.
Likewise. I mean, the word generalist is overused, and I normally try and speak to people who are niche experts, but actually you are so effective at so many things. So I'm going to ask you 4 very random 5 questions that might appear that I'm just cherry picking and trying to get the best out of it. It's because I'm trying to sponge you dry, mate. So trying to abuse your good nature to tell us gold, mate, gold dust. So the people watching this and listening to this, how could you help them change the culture in their team, classroom, company, organization? What, because you're good at culture change. What could they do?
So well, hi everybody. Let's say, so just a bit of context. So most recently, my wife and I started a church in Birmingham here called the Bridge Church, and we've gone about like building a team from scratch. And volunteers, got like 50 odd people now, right? And just talking about setting culture has been one of the key conversations we've had to address, to think about, to deal with, as we think about who we want to be, how we want to be seen, and the experience we want visitors who come to us to have. And so culture has been absolutely at the heart of it. And what a key distinction, if I can give you one key distinction, is this: that as the leader or as the person who is heading up the organization or the department, we are the architects of the culture in that organization. And so no matter who's coming into that space, no matter where you're hiring from, the architect or the principal responsibility of that culture, for that culture, is the person who sits with the authority in that space. And so oftentimes we'll look and we'll see things happen in our church, and we'll go, or even in my business even, and we'll go, you know what, Errol? Somebody's seen you do that and you've made that okay. Or someone's done something and we've gone, you know what? That's because we haven't made set clear enough standards for how we operate or relate to each other. And that responsibility relies with who? Relies with me, right? So principally, if you don't like what's happening in the culture in your home, in your organization, and right now, then principally the architect, the person responsible for that, is you as a leader.
And that doesn't matter whether it's a corporate organization, an individual team, staff in a staff room in a college or a school. It doesn't even matter even it's down to the student or the individual, as you say. Everything begins with, as you said, us taking responsibility for the reputation we have, what we do. Absolutely. Love that. So, like I say, normally I want to drill deep on that, but I've got so much to ask you. Relationships. You, from the very first time I met you, something you're brilliant at is just seemingly getting along with everyone. You're quite a master at relationships. Tell us a bit more about that.
Dave, in the world that we live in today, in the Twitter-focused world we live in today, it's one of the hardest things to do, because the world is so polarized, and our challenge is, in the middle of all these different views and opinions from this subject to that subject, is to listen, and as leaders, to be very particular and careful about where we pitch ourselves in that conversation. It's so easy today to jump on one side of the fence, whether you're for Trump or you're against Trump, you're for vaccine or you're against vaccine, and so many people have damaged their reputations and their relationship credibility because they've either hastily or ignorantly or not thinking deeply enough about it. They've gone, well, I agree with this, and they've put a massive statement out. They've got their trumpet out or their microphone out, and actually, I've realized that I go online, I see my friends online, many people I respect online, making really big statements, positioning themselves in one camp or the other. And I listen and I go, and what if I don't think that? Do I need to say that here?
Yeah, I've had people
here right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I've had people.
So pick fights in the world that we live in today. Pick your fights really carefully. There are some people lots of people are watching you right now. And some of those people you'll need to help you up the ladder of life at some time in the future. And because you've gone out on a limb to declare that you are this or you are that in a particular area, and hey, it's okay to do that. Don't get me wrong. You have full right to do that. But understand that it's going to come with some consequence, potentially relationship damage down the line if you're not careful in thinking about that.
I remember as a kid, my dad used to make me watch Question Time. And I used to be like bored watching all these politicians debate. Whereas now you watch Question Time and it's just an argument. It reinforces what you say. Very polarized opinion. It's as if well-informed debate is an argument these days. It's crazy. Exactly. Crazy. Now
it's a challenge. It's the world that we live in today, and it's we've got to really, professionally speaking, really understand how to guard our hearts and actually, and if I can say, like, there's a whole politically correct kind of thing move going on. If you have an alternative view to the politically correct narrative, you can be ostracized, and I don't agree with that. But I'm very careful about where and how I express my heartfelt opinions.
You're more tactful than I am. I'll give you that. Yeah. Now, I know you cut your teeth and you're passionate like I am about working with young people as well as businesses. And yet a lot of people in business are parents. So whether you're a teacher or a parent, what advice have you got for helping young people in these challenging times?
Wow. I mean, it's not an easy time. If you're a parent now or a young person in the middle of this pandemic we're in, it's not an easy time. The most important thing right now, I've been reading a book actually called The Power of Daddy's Hug. I've got 2 little girls, and it's that the power of the hug, the embrace, and it's about time. One thing this space has given us a chance to do right now is to think about our priorities and to analyze and assess where and how we give our energy. And if this is not an opportunity for anything else right now, it's an opportunity to make time spent with our children our number one priority. Dave, I reckon for some families, people are going crazy, like, my kids are here all day long. What do I do? I'm not used to this. Like, every day they're in my space. Like, how do I? And actually, this is an indication that we need to readjust internally, externally, our environment, whatever, and to ask ourselves, how can I maximize this time I have available with my kids? It's not that it's a problem. It's not a burden. It's not a headache. It's an opportunity for me to think about how can I create great memories and experiences with my kids.
100%.
And so it's a flip of mindset, right? It's a flip of attitude for us as parents. But I think that's so important right now, Dave. They need our time.
I've got a friend, Nick Earnshaw, and he's he didn't like teaching his kid at home to begin with, but as it's gone on, he's found more and more creative ways to engage his son in the learning. And because he's creative minded himself, he's got into it. And honestly, the stuff he's doing now is off the scale good, massive. And the rapport he's got, the relationship he's got with his son on the back of it, absolutely first class. So 100%. This is an opportunity, guys. Listen to Errol. Step up. Now, Errol, I know that you've coached a lot of people through challenge, adversity, difficult situations, and you yourself, to be fair, without going deep in this one, you've overcome a bit yourself. Anyone who's really struggling right now, be it from your perspective or your experience, or if you were coaching someone, what advice would you give to people to help them if they're going through a bit of a challenge right now?
Yeah, you know, I'll take this from a couple of angles. The first is my faith angle. I'm passionate about my faith. I've found strength and empowerment and peace and hope in my relationship with God. That for me has been an anchor for me all through this COVID season. The other thing is staying connected to those people that, hey, don't get me wrong, but there are some people who are just, the mood hoovers and what have you. But actually, it's really important if you're feeling low right now, if you're feeling disconnected, you're feeling like you're not sure what to do. Now is not the time, or this moment is not the time to isolate yourself, to cut yourself off from friends, family, loved ones, as tough as it might seem, and as socially distanced and all that kind of stuff. This is a time now to reach out. Whether you reach out honestly, seriously, if you've got to pick up the phone and phone the Samaritans and talk to a random person on the phone who's there at the end of a phone line just for some connection and conversation, then do that. But you need to stay connected. You got to express, get those thoughts, feelings out. Please, please, please. If you're feeling low right now, the last thing you want to do is isolate yourself. Find someone safe and trustworthy you can speak to.
There's an expression I love called sweep your side of the street. Polish your own doorstep. So if there's anyone here struggling, and maybe you've had some challenging times with your family or your friends, maybe you need to sweep your side of the street and sort that out, rekindle that relationship. Let's reconnect with each other. Reconnect.
You know what, Dave? There's so many people right now are living in isolation because they're waiting for someone else to make the first move.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A sister, a brother, an aunt, a mom, dad, they'll call me, or I'll wait for them to reach out to me. No, actually, maybe it's for you actually to reach out to somebody else in this season.
And that doesn't always guarantee that it will go smoothly, but at least it's taking the steps. Cool. Well, Eric, I can't believe it, man. I could interview all day long. I could pick your brains, but we've only got a bit of time left. So tell us two things. Number one, something that anyone can do today to make themselves a better leader of themselves or other people. And then tell us how people can get in touch with you if they'd like to connect.
Sure. So number one thing for me is to get a mentor. Okay. Now let me explain what I mean by that. We hear a lot about mentors these days. A mentor is a guide. A mentor is someone who knows the way, shows the way, and can go the way with you. Well, here's the power of a mentor, right? You could be having a situation or a challenge in your life right now, and you're thinking about, how do I solve this problem? How do I start this business? How do I build this project? How do I navigate this relationship? A mentor is someone who is experienced, who is trustworthy, who is of good character, who has already accomplished that thing, and you can sit down with them for 30 minutes and your whole life can change direction. You could, whatever you were struggling with, you were puzzled by, because of their wisdom and experience, they can help you to elevate your life, your thinking, your mindset to a whole different level. And so yeah, come on, man. If you want to move forward in life, if you want to see your life move forward, then I highly recommend. And a mentor hasn't got to be someone that is famous and celebrity. A mentor could be, for example, somebody's book you read. As an example, you can go to Amazon and get that person's book and read that and be mentored through their writing. There's like loads of books out there. And it could be someone, you could literally just send someone a message on Twitter. Hey, such and such, love what you think. What do you think about this? Or LinkedIn, for example, reaching out to people just with a question. So I'd say if you don't ever stay stuck, reach out for a mentor.
Great advice. So Errol, if anyone wants to have a chat with you, other than buying your books and you're mentoring them through your books on Amazon, look for Errol Lawson on the Amazon. But if they want to get in touch with you, what's your website, or how do you want people to connect?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing probably to go for my LinkedIn profile. That's a good way to get to me. So if you go to linkedin.com and I'm on there, you can find my details there. You can find me on my website, errollawson.com as well, or Twitter @Errol Lawson. But either of those platforms, really, I'm accessible, I'm available. If you want to have a chat, want some support for your team, your organization, just get in touch.
Errol, as ever, awesome, mate. Thank you very much indeed. God bless you. And for everyone else, please, the biggest compliment we can pay Errol is do something better today than we did yesterday. So take action. Be a better leader. See you soon on another Dave's Desk. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click the TV to watch the next video. Oh, and don't forget to visit our website at davidhyner.com to claim your free audiobook. Until the next time, go Rhino. Have in it.